When writing the letter A in Fundations, the words are going to be first and how to form it, and then we'll talk about the sound you're supposed to be saying associated with that letter. And then finally, we're going to talk about what do I do if my child or student struggles writing the letter A. So, Fundations verbiage goes A is a plain line round letter. It starts on the plain line. Go to the plain line, go back on the plain line, then down and around to the grass line and up to the plain line. Trace back down to the grass line. A, apple, a. Now, A obviously can be read other ways, like the long A sound in baby or the ah sound in watch, but we pick the most common to work on in pre-K and kinder, so you will only say the ah sound. I wouldn't teach anything other than that until and if you learn that they are learning a different way to do it in school, simply because kids are trying to figure out when is it going to say A, when is it going to say ah, and since the vast majority of the time it says ah, that's what we're going to go with. So, typically what I see kids struggle with is forming an A. Instead of flying back on the plane line, they tend to want to go straight down. And so, the best way I've found for that is talking about, okay, we have to make sure we scratch our back. The A wants to scratch its back, and so I can give them a dot if I want them to trace from there. I can even lead them and say, okay, this is how you're going to start it. Then they would start here. What they're going to want to do is finish it. So they're going to come in and go, oh, she started it for me, I'll just finish it. No, I want them to start where I started. So they're going to trace first. So they come here, and then we're going to go up, and we're going to go scratch, 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 scratch our back, come around, scratch, 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 scratch my belly, up and back down. That's probably the most common error I see with an A. If you're strictly focused on handwriting, I would go back or I would teach my child or my student how to make a C, because there are a lot of letters that start or have the C in them somewhere. And so I'll talk to my kids about that. I'm like, okay, what letter is that? Like, oh, that's a C. Well, the cool thing is if I can make a C, then I can make an A. If I can make a C, then I can make an A. You can also say C, up and back down, A. C, up and back down, A. In general, we also talk about letters do not like to float, which means they have to touch lines. And so if you were to have a kiddo, form an A like that, then we would talk about, okay, letters don't like to float. It scares them if they're floating. So let's look. This one is touching a line. Yep. Is this one touching a line or is it floating? And they're going to say floating. And that's kind of the best way I've found for kids who don't want to end up touching lines. That resonates with them. Scratching back, scratching bellies, floating makes them scared. Probably the best way I've found for that.